statement from my last doctor visit.
And you're happy about it?
I actually am. I have a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so I know exactly what's covered. It really helps me stay on budget.
Is it expensive? I'm on a fixed income, and prices lately make it almost impossible to stick to my budget.
It's actually quite reasonable and saves me money. Plus, I get all the benefits I need in one simple plan, so it's easy and affordable.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plans have prices to fit your budget and provide the benefits you may need in one convenient plan. Just tell us your needs and your zip code, and we'll help you find a plan that's right for you. You may even be able to get a plan with additional benefits like dental, hearing, prescription drug coverage, and more. But you don't get a Medicare Advantage plan automatically. You have to take action. If you recently moved, lost coverage, or are new to Medicare, you may be eligible for a plan today. Call Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield now to find out what over 32 million friendly neighbors already know about our Medicare Advantage plans. We have knowledgeable licensed insurance agents standing by 24/7, ready to help Medicare members just like you. The call is free and there's no obligation to enroll. You may be able to get a Medicare Advantage plan with additional benefits you want.
I had the same plan for years, but it just wasn't working for me anymore. I called and I couldn't believe what they had to offer. If you're moving, losing coverage, or new to Medicare, you might even be eligible to get a plan today. Aren't you retiring soon?
I sure am. What's that number again?
Call Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield today. Call 800-995-1594. That's 800-995-1594. 800-995-1594.
Your emblem of devotion. Have your engagement ring custom made by the Jewelry Exchange. Choose a 1-carat lab-grown diamond for $5.99 or a natural GIA for $19.90. 18K mounts are $4.99. Thousands of choices, always the best deal. The Jewelry Exchange, Tustin.
Watch Off the Clock today at 2 on KTLA 5.
Good morning. I'm Frank Buckley. The Supreme Court considering arguments in a case that could have major implications on how cities and states police homelessness. We're live from Washington to explain what's at stake.
I'm Eric Spillman. Prosecutors call it a criminal conspiracy. Donald Trump's lawyers say he did nothing wrong. The highlights from this morning's opening statements at the trial in New York coming up.
I'm Chip Yost in Las Vegas, where it is groundbreaking day on the construction of a high-speed rail line between Southern California and Las Vegas. We'll have a live report from here coming up.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Holmes. Clear allows certain paying travelers to bypass long security lines at TSA, and now there are efforts here in our state to ban that service at airports. We'll explain why.
Good morning. I'm Sam Rubin. New here at 10 o'clock. A TV surprise, and no surprise, a very bright guy, the host of the Jeopardy podcast, Buzzy Cohen, who's had success on the Alex Trebek stage. He's got a new book. He's on the way to join us here live.
And the weather forecast, we're kind of back into that gray look as far as the weather goes for the next, let's say, 3, 4, 5 days. It will hopefully clear up by next weekend. But in the meantime, overcast with some light drizzle. No sunshine in most areas until later on this afternoon. In some of the beach communities, you might not just clear out whatsoever. Coastal 66 downtown with a high today of 67, 81 in the San Fernando Valley. High desert 86, 83 Inland Empire. Orange County Inland 74 degrees. Jessica.
Mark, thank you. Former President Donald Trump's hush money trial in New York has ended for the day. Opening statements from both sides were made earlier this morning. KTLA's Eric Spillman live now in the newsroom with a recap for us. Eric, good morning.
Morning, Jessica. Court ended early today because of the Passover holiday, but before the day was over, the jury heard very different opening statements from each side, and they saw testimony from the first witness. Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker was the first to take the witness stand. Prosecutors say he met with Donald Trump at Trump Tower in August of 2015 and agreed to help the Trump campaign identify negative stories about Trump. He only testified for a few minutes, but when court resumes tomorrow, Pecker may face questions about the tabloid's so-called catch and kill policy. It's a policy that involves buying the exclusive rights to scoops and then killing them to make sure they never become public. Now, to some photos of Trump arriving in court this morning. He's accused of falsifying business records as part of an alleged scheme to bury news stories that might have hurt his presidential campaign back in 2016. That's why it's being called a hush money case. He's charged with 34 felony counts. He's pleaded not guilty. He faces 4 years in prison if convicted. At the heart of the case is a $130,000 payment made by former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen to porn actress Stormy Daniels to prevent her claim of a sexual encounter with Trump from surfacing in the final days of the 2016 campaign. Prosecutors say Trump covered up the true nature of the payment in internal business documents. He's denied having had sex with Daniels. Prosecutor Matthew Colangelo told the jury, quote, "This case is about a criminal conspiracy and a cover-up. The defendant, Donald Trump, orchestrated a criminal scheme to corrupt the 2016 presidential election. Then he covered up that criminal conspiracy by lying in his New York business records over and over and over again," end quote. But Trump's attorney Todd Blanche told the jury that story is not true. He said, quote, "President Trump is innocent. President Trump did not commit any crimes. You've seen him for years and years and years. He is in some ways larger than life. But he's also here in this courtroom doing what any of us would do, defending himself." Now, opening statements can serve as a roadmap for jurors, but Loyola law professor Jessica Levinson says they are not the same thing as proof.
Opening statements are not evidence, they are arguments, they are statements. And so when it comes to what the jury actually does in that jury room, deciding guilt or if they acquit, they will be looking at the evidence presented and the jury instructions. They will not be considering specifically, well, what was argued to us but not proven.
Trump has complained repeatedly that the trial is keeping him away from the campaign trail during his run for the White House, and he said the same thing to reporters just moments ago.
They take this payment and they call it a legal expense, and you heard it today for the first time. This is what I got indicted over. This is what took me off and takes me off the campaign trail, because I should be in Georgia now. I should be in Florida now. I should be in a lot of different places right now campaigning, and I'm sitting here.
Tomorrow, testimony resumes at 8 a.m. our time. There will also be a hearing in court tomorrow on whether Donald Trump has violated a gag order imposed by the judge. Frank?
Eric, thank you. Today, the Supreme Court is hearing arguments on whether cities can punish homeless people for sleeping outside. It's considered the most significant case involving homelessness to reach the high court in years. KTLA's Trevor Shirley live in Washington, D.C. with more for us. Trevor, good morning.
Hey there, Frank. Good morning to you as well. And the outcome of this case could have a huge impact really all across the country in terms of how cities deal with their homeless populations. Today's court case comes as the homelessness rates all across the country have hit record levels. Now, previous courts have ruled it's unconstitutional for cities to arrest or fine homeless people who are sleeping outside if shelter space is lacking. But some cities are challenging those rulings. Today's case involves Grants Pass, Oregon, a town of about 40,000 that started finding homeless people sleeping outside as a way to manage homeless encampments. That city, along with others, argue previous court rulings make it difficult to manage encampments, which can attract crime and unsanitary conditions. They cite municipal anti-camping ordinances all across the country as proof they do have a right to fine and arrest people sleeping outside. But homeless advocates say that amounts to cruel and unusual punishment, especially if shelters are full and homeless people have nowhere else to go.
What will the city do if you don't prevail here?
The city's hands will be tied. It will be forced to surrender its public spaces as it has been.
Laws that make it a crime to be poor are unjust. Laws that would penalize homeless folk for sleeping in public parks is unjust, excessive, and cruel and unusual punishment, and it has no place in America.
And the court's expected to release its ruling at some point later this spring. That's the latest here in Washington. We'll send it back to you guys in L.A.
Trevor, thank you for that this morning. The high-speed train project from Las Vegas to Southern California is breaking ground this hour.
The 218-mile rail line is expected to not only be an economic boost, but also an alternative travel option for all of us. KTLA's Chip Yost live in Las Vegas with more. Chip, good morning.
Good morning, Frank and Jessica. Yeah, we are standing at what will eventually be the train station where that high-speed rail line will end from Southern California. When it comes in, you can see the strip behind me. You can see Mandalay Bay. We're actually, I guess, on the strip, kind of. We're off of Las Vegas Boulevard, but not a lot of the major casinos down this way. We're about 3 miles from where the south part of the main part of the strip that everybody knows begins. That's where you see the Mandalay Bay behind me. Let's show you how the train will get here. Here is some video. You can see the train will actually run along a very familiar route to Southern Californians. The 15 that most people take from Southern California to Las Vegas, well, the train route in many sections will run in between the north and southbound lanes. So it'll run right along the I-15 from Rancho Cucamonga here to this station in Las Vegas. You'll have to find some transportation from this point, of course. It's a $12 billion project, $9 billion privately financed. The Biden administration recently awarded $3 billion to the project as well. And here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to finish this within about 4 years. They want to get it done before the 2028 Olympics. A little bit ago, we heard from the founder of Brightline. He stepped out here to have a few words with us. Here's a little